All right, we will be reacting to when COD took itself seriously by Wheezy. Came out 8 months ago, but let's get straight into it.
Search and destroy. Let's do this. You're the last one. Complete the mission. Good job, team. Get ready for the next round.
I need an FRE AK-47. Follow the
That's kind of
queen.
just picking and choosing now. You give a bunch of other military people to pick from. Let's see what you're talking about, bro.
There used to be a time when Call of Duty got made fun of for becoming too Hollywood, kind of like the Michael Bay of video games. But at the same time, it was still serious and did its own thing very well. The story and theme it was trying to convey felt more grounded, or at least it felt more impactful. And then when you went into multiplayer, it felt connected. You weren't worried about seeing a few Nicki Minaj's running around, and instead, it was just two armies fighting each other in a location that made sense for the most part. Sure,
Not that
none
big
of
of a
what I
deal.
will talk about will affect gameplay. Doesn't affect how well the game runs. And it sounds like a stupid thing to gripe about, right? But there's nothing wrong with preferences. That's something we should talk about when it's the game we get to enjoy after all. Call of Duty has changed things that I think just give it a silly look and atmosphere. And this falls mostly in the multiplayer, but a little in other modes too. No one disagrees when the highest priority should be set on making the game satisfying to play. But with each video game that is successful, it typically has a charm that makes the game feel more proper. If you were to boot up Modern Warfare 2, the original one, and you just sat there in the menu for a little bit, what type of mood does it put you in?
I didn't really
For
play Modern
me,
Warfare 2,
I'm
so I don't have
thinking,
anything.
yeah, this is Modern Warfare. You can identify it by its music, the background, and the images correlating to each mode. Then when you think back on each game, you remember it by what was conveyed. Modern Warfare was exactly what you would think. It was a modern take on war, and you got that feeling throughout every single mode you played. What I'm trying to get at is a theme, a unified theme. You shouldn't ever underestimate the power of this. A theme can help immerse you into the game. I for sure want to be immersed. Don't you? Jumping around from campaign to spec ops to then multiplayer, it all had a similar look. The battlefield of an army against another army helped immerse you into the game. You were just
Here's the thing about that, though. I hear what he's saying. What he's saying is that he likes it when campaign, multiplayer, and spec ops or whatever all look the same, right? Like there was no Nicki Minaj's or whatever, and that's how he got immersed into it. Thing is though, is that I always thought of COD multiplayer as a whole different mode than campaign and spec ops. Because if you want to talk about immersion, right? There's so many things in Modern Warfare 2, and especially not like Modern Warfare, but even just COD multiplayer in general, that can take you out of that immersion real quick. You know, let's go to Black Ops 2, right? I'm running around killing people. I pick up a gun. It's bacon wrapped. I pick up a gun. It has the emblem that says a slur on it. Another one that has an emblem with boobs and a girl's vag just out. Like so much stuff, and that just take you out of the immersive experience. It's just it's just a different mode. And plus, COD to me has always been arcadey. It's always been an arcade game mode. So them doing all these collabs to me just made sense. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner because COD has always been one of the biggest games out there. It took Fortnite for them to be able to do it, but they should have been the first ones to do it, honestly. But the thing is they could have with these collabs. I don't see anything really problematic with them due to the sole fact that COD multiplayer is and will forever be an arcade shooter. If you want realism, there's thousands upon thousands of realistic war shooters out there. Hell Let Loose, Battlefield 3, 4, Hardline, maybe even 1. I say Hell Lucia already. Ready or Not. There's like if you want like immersion in like a militaristic warfare setting, COD should be the last place to do it, right? Because then even then when you kill someone in the game, you get called a slur in your ear. That can take you out of the immersion real quick because that doesn't fucking. I mean, it might happen in fucking in war. I mean, I'm not a fucking soldier, but like I'm saying, like they're just two different modes to me. So that's why like I never really cared. Like all like these collabs are cool as hell. Like what's not cool about 619ing a nigga as Rey Mysterio in fucking Call of Duty? Like what? Like come on. Like imagine John Cena was in Black Ops 2. Niggas would have loved that shit. Jeff Hardy? Imagine Jeff Hardy was in a COD game. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Imagine if Jeff Hardy in 2008. What game came out? They've been like they've been War at War. So I understand that wouldn't really been it really wouldn't have worked. But still, like imagine if Jeff Hardy was in a COD game. Niggas would have loved that shit. Oh my god. Like these collabs are cool. These collabs are cool. And I personally I don't see any problem with them at all.
Just another soldier, not an operator fighting other operators, especially a Nicki Minaj operator. Her being in Call of Duty.
That's kind of picking and choosing though, because the thing is like he's saying all that, but Ghostface was in Modern Warfare 2019 and nobody complained about it. So what I think is going on here really is that COD is not in a good state. I mean, depending on who you ask, but I guess like the general consensus is that it's not in a good state. So now he's not to say being picky, but I like for lack of a better term, he's being picky about everything. Like now all of a sudden, oh, Nicki Minaj is in the game, or whoever else is in the game. Oh, now it fucking blows. Now it sucks. Y'all love Modern Warfare 2019. And I firmly believe if Nicki Minaj was in Modern Warfare 2019, nobody would have gave a fuck, really. Nobody would have cared. Nobody would have cared because the game was good. Now that you're playing Modern Warfare 2, Vanguard, all this other stuff, now all of a sudden, like, now all of a sudden operators are trash. I remember when people wanted to play as like characters that they got to know more about instead of just a random soldier. You know, it's crazy how we do this.
Aesthetic to them. I definitely don't mind campaign characters being in there either, but I think it's much better when everything just makes sense. Playing as specific armies against other armies isn't just all about their character look either. It can leak into several elements, one of those being the announcers. Do you remember when
Snoop Dogg,
each faction would have their own announcer and actually
like was that not cool?
There? Some would give their heart and soul into the callouts.
We've been EMP'd! Electronics are down!
The enemy's taking our flag! Friendly Predator missile incoming. Friendly AC-130 in the air. Enemy AC-130 above.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
They can still do this though. This has nothing to do with what he's really talking
Tactical
about.
nuke inbound. No! They've captured our flag! Enemy has all positions! Fight back!
Okay, you don't have to show me everything.
I used to love hearing the announcers from every game because they fleshed out the atmosphere of each match. To help maps feel more unique, there wouldn't be just any random faction thrown in. It would be a more proper faction for the map that made sense.
Free for all! Free for all. Free for all!
And the games would typically have several options to select from when it came to maps. You look at a game like Black Ops 1 and you have several different options that would change dependent on the map you played. The soldier you specifically played as was determined by certain perks you had selected, but what do you see when you browse through all of these characters? They all make sense, they fit the theme, and they look like real soldiers. You had 6
Yeah,
different factions
but like I
with some
said,
variety when going between different environments.
if
There
you
also
want
used to be
immersion
different music themes when starting a
and
match.
in multiplayer,
I got you.
for a multiplayer game, COD should be the last one that you pick.
Playtime's over.
COD was never serious. Okay, you don't have to show me all this. I get your point. I can hear what you're talking about.
Even if you didn't think much of this while playing, you could just feel the difference when hopping between the older Call of Duty games to the newer ones. There just isn't sense of this anywhere in the multiplayer. All random operators that make the game look like one big giant ad. I understand microtransactions are a thing, and that's a huge way companies make their money, but what's stopping them from having boundaries in what they make? Instead of releasing Homelander,
Because y'all keep buying it. Because y'all keep fucking. But Homelander is cool as fuck though. That's what I'm talking about. Like, imagine you had to play as Captain America in like Black Ops 2. Like, it's cool. It's cool. It's fucking cool. I think like I said, I think the problem is that it's just because it's Modern Warfare. It's current COD. I think that's the main problem. I have to say that he's not overlooked. You know what I mean? Like, it's. But the thing is, y'all keep buying it because you know what? The average person doesn't give a fuck. they don't care.
there's some cool range.
If they think it's cool, they're gonna spend their
fits the
money
theme
on
of
it.
The game. Multiplayer used to mold into the theme. Now you jump into it and it's all a jumbled mess of random things. Call of Duty's about war and the events from them. It used to be about committing to a theme and staying true to it. If it was World War II, then you would get a darker horror take on it with something like World at War.
But
If it
I
was
feel like you
during
still get that in the
modern
campaign
times,
though.
then
Like I
we'd be seeing
said,
higher stakes with more
multiplayer
advanced
is just
weaponry.
different.
Bringing back the
I
aesthetic
don't really
would
play
help change the
campaigns
tone
like
of the
that
game
anymore.
and give it a true theme that it could be known for.
What about zombies? Y'all don't give a
For a
fuck about
mode like
zombies.
Zombies, you could easily think that would be crazy to throw into a Call of Duty game displaying the brutality of World War II. It doesn't make sense, it isn't realistic, but it also used to stay true to itself. It was its own universe after all, and it did take itself seriously. Zombies as a mode was something different. It wasn't replacing anything and didn't derive from the experience of others. Multiplayer would still play the exact same, and so would campaign. Nothing would ever really bleed over to those modes. But you could also say that there was an invasion in the mode of zombies. The invasion of operators that seemingly have less soul than a basic soldier or character.
Yeah, but they're
that
changing
look
that
like they
now,
would
though.
belong there. The
Black Ops
campaign
6.
has started molding into zombies with all our characters being in the universe now. Nothing feels unique anymore. It all is starting to feel overwhelmingly generic. That's pretty much where I think Call of Duty is at. The gameplay is an entirely different beast, but when we talk about its charm with each game's theme, a lot of it has just become bland and doesn't make any sense. It may seem like something small, and it's definitely something not
But
a
I
lot
do
of people
think
care about, but it does
the thing
make a
is,
bigger
though, is that
difference
people
than
wanted
most would
COD
think.
to
You can
evolve
make fun of older Call of Duty
and
all you
change.
want, but it used to have themes that it stuck true to. They were serious about displaying different eras of war, and when it came to alternate modes such as zombies, they approached it as its own thing. Booting up a Call of Duty game used to come with a distinguishable look that you could quickly identify it by. That would be carried throughout in several different ways. But the part where COD can still be considered serious would have to be only the campaign at this point. The story for the most
As
part
it
is
always
still
really was,
serious,
to be
and
honest, at
basically
least
the
for
only
me.
mode that I think actually takes the theme of the game seriously. I still get immersed into the experience and it feels proper, but there is something you could pick apart from it. Everything can feel too hero focused. There was moments where you would again just be another soldier. You could be anyone and you jump into their perspective as they fight through the events of the game. There was a balance of this. The storytelling often had you jumping from character to character to eventually
he's
lead
right
to
about
the
this.
ending of the game where
I will give it
everything
that.
would unfold. It had a certain way about it that made the story feel more grand in scale. Like these events were truly more than just our main cast of characters. It made characters like Ramirez become a living legend amongst fans even though he was a silent protagonist with little backstory. But it also had guts. Things like gore and torture scenes like in World at War makes the game feel more serious. A mission like No Russian left impacts on the players and went as far
I understand,
as
but you can't do
controversial
No
in
Russian
media.
now.
Things like that.
You have
set
to
the
have a
dangers
heart.
in a
You have to have a
story
heart.
and makes
All
a
these
villain
like mass
someone to
shootings, like
not
come on,
take
you can't
lightly.
do that.
Plot armor on
There's,
characters
like,
also
outside
plays
reasons why
things
some
too
shit like that
safely and doesn't present any danger to our cast if we always know they are going to end up surviving it. I think that, in a way, has creeped into the game as well. But when Call of Duty took itself seriously, it was able to captivate gamers across all modes they would play. It stuck to its guns and made games that were fondly remembered by the charm it provided in each
You
of
just
its
no
modes.
scope someone. That's
Although
realistic.
this may
I'm
not be a
trolling.
big concern,
Now I'm being petty.
it's not
Now I'm
something
being
to
petty.
forget, and I think it's fair to be vocal about. If it wasn't for an overlapping theme, I think older Call of Duty games would have had a hard time going down as being iconic.
Yeah, but like I said, I think we're doing a lot of revisionists. We're being like, I think that's what it's. Is that right? You get being like revisionist. But yeah, I mean, like I understand what he was saying at the to begin with. Like I understood what he was saying, and like to a degree, like yeah, I kind of agree. But like when you said that multiplayer was like he wanted like that blend of immersion like across all modes. You have to think of each mode as separate. Think of each mode as separate, and plus I think like it's like having Homelander in the game is cool as fuck. It's cool. It's cool. Like imagine Nade Shot, Scumpy, and all of them were in like Black Ops 2. Niggas would have loved that, man. Like, come on. Like imagine like you're in Black Ops 2, you're able to play as a Phase Apex, Phase Rain, whatever. Like people would have loved that shit. People would have loved it. So I'm saying I think ultimately he's right, but I think he's forgetting one part. Is that the games are just not as good as they used to be. And that's why he's getting really mad about this. Well, not mad, but he's being very vocal about it, as he said. It's because the games aren't as good as they used to be. Like I'm saying, like if you were to do all the stuff that you're doing now in COD to like MW2, like the original Modern Warfare, the original MW2, the original MW3, Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I don't think it'd be that big of a deal, personally. I think it also would be that big of a deal because they'd be the first ones to do it. That's why it's not a big deal for Fortnite. But then again, Fortnite's Fortnite, so I mean, right? But I'm saying like it would like come on, like think about it. Now you don't think it'd been cool to play as like Phase Apex, Phase Rain, trick shotting? Like that's another thing. Trick shotting. Come on, like there's so much shit that can happen in COD multiplayer that can take you out of that immersion. That I just think you have to look at COD multiplayer as a different mode. Now the microtransactions is a little bit crazy. Yes, I would give you that. But I mean, me personally, like I said, seeing like Homelander, Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes running around, like killing people, like to me is not that big of a deal. It's pretty cool. But I think it's because it's following Fortnite. It wasn't the first one to do it, and also because the games are kind of bad. That yeah. Ooh shit. Again for drinking this fucking protein. I think that's why there's this big of a conversation about it. I mean, this did come out 8 months ago. I did see some people on Twitter agree with it, but ultimately, I just think that it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, because I remember, because I know some people were saying the same thing about like the skins in the game, but I do remember Call of Duty that Chinese Call of Duty game that had like a different skin, like these cool ass skins off of these weapons, and then also like COD Mobile. We would see those two get cool ass skins every other day. And then people would be like, yo, I really want this on fucking console. Like, I want this on the main Call of Duty game. Then we got it. Now people hate it. So I just think ultimately what he's saying is true to a degree. I agree with some points, but I don't think COD was ever really serious. At least multiplayer. I'm gonna clickbait the fuck out of this title say was COD ever serious, but I'm really talking about the multiplayer. The multiplayer was never serious, and zombies. You have a thing with zombies. Zombies is getting like warzonified, like heavily. I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. Sucks, but I mean, hey, what it is. If it's good though, people won't care. I won't care. Yeah, man. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.
With authority, looking like Sky Bree, she got a body, ayy. And she been calling me daddy lately. Want me to put her in Cartier's, and the bitch deserve it. Put in work for the money, she earn it. Give me top every night, lip service. Never gotta block these hoes, she worth it. I'm out in Abu Dhabi with a bad bitch, look like.